Good afternoon. Thank you for joining us today for our webinar on discovering all the ways that the TrackSmart calendar can make your life easier. I am Patrick Neff, Marketing Manager for TrackSmart, and joining me is our product guru, Alex Duran. Before we get started with the webinar, we would like to go over a few items. First, if you have any questions, please share them with us using the chat box found on the left of the screen. Second, if you're having trouble with the audio, please let us know via the chat box as well. Next, we have some time aside at the end to get any questions that you may have. Finally, we will follow up this webinar with an email containing a link to the recording within 2 days of the session. We are going to start today going over some setup steps and features for the attendance tracking calendar. We are going to take some time to walk you through all of the preferences settings that affect the tracking calendar. We will go over the basic use of the tracking calendar. We will take time to review the different tracking calendar related reports. Then we will take a few minutes to discuss the employee self-service functions. We will share a few tips and tricks to make your life easier, and we will end with a review of our customer success team along with some time for questions and answers. Let's start out by walking through the settings within the preferences that impact the tracking calendar functionality. You can access your preferences by first logging in as an administrator, then clicking on the Preferences link in the top right corner of the page. Once you are on the Preferences page, you will see a list of options on the left-hand side of the page. Here is where you can set up your tracking calendar preferences. In this example, we have the absence codes option selected. We have also selected the actual absence or reasons codes that we want our administrator and employees to choose when entering a time-off request. This is one of the areas where you can customize TrackSmart to your specific business needs. Please note that depending on the plan you have purchased, the number of available codes you are allowed to select may be limited. In this example, we are using a PowerTrack Plus plan that allows us the option to select all of the absence codes. Next, let's take a look at event codes. The number of available event codes is also determined by the level of the plan you have purchased. Again, we will be looking at an example of a PowerTrack Plus plan. On this page, you can select the event codes that you would like to select on the tracking calendar. Simply select the checkbox next to event codes that you want to make available to you and your employees. Once you have selected all the event codes that apply to your business, select the Save or Save and Continue button. Now let's take a look at the time settings options. Time settings allows you to define how time is displayed in the absence entries, timesheets, calendar summaries, and even reports. If you are using the timesheets feature in attendance, here is where you can enter your employees' default work hours in a day. By entering your employees' default work hours, it will save you time when entering a company event that will require you to pay employees. We will show you an example a little later in the webinar. Please note that the timesheet feature is only available on the FlexTrack, PowerTrack, and PowerTrack Plus plans. If you have a core track plan but would like to take advantage of this feature, please contact your customer success coach to discuss upgrading your plan. Now that we have all of the preferences configured, let's take a moment to discuss the basic use of the tracking calendar in TrackSmart Attendance. Let's look at how to enter a calendar event. One of the easiest ways to create an event on the tracking calendar is directly from the calendar view. First, click on the Attendance tab. From the calendar view, double-click on the date that you would like to create the entry. In this example, we have double-clicked on June 14th, which is indicated by the red arrow. Upon double-clicking the calendar date cell, you will see a pop-up box appear where you can begin to enter the calendar event details. Under the Employee drop-down, select the All Employees Company Event. In this example, we will show you how to enter a company event that affects all employees. This could be a floating holiday or any company picnic, as an example. Under the Reason drop-down, select the type of company event that you would like to use. In this example, we are using the company closed reason. We always suggest that you take a look at the start and end date just to make sure that the date for the company event is correct. If the event extends for more than one day, you can simply set the end date for the last day of the multi-day event. For those customers with FlexTrack, PowerTrack, or PowerTrack Plus plans using timesheets, you will now see the default work hours in a day that was set up in the Time Settings options in Preferences. Please remember that this time can be changed by just clicking into the box and editing or deleting the time. We advise our members to enter notes so that they may have a record of why the company event was done for that day. To finish, click on the Save to complete the entry. After clicking the Save button, we can see in the Calendar Date cell a note indicating the calendar event noted as Company Closed. If you click on the Date cell, you can see a quick view on the right that gives more detail about the event. Next, we'll show you how to enter a time-off request for an employee. You may need to do this if you haven't given your staff employee self-service permissions. You also may need to input past time off that did not get input by the employee or your supervisors. Let's start by first double-clicking on the date of the time off event. In this example, we are going to double-click on June 23rd. Once we have double-clicked on the date cell, we will see a box pop up to start entering the time off request details. Under the employee drop-down, select the employee's name. Next, under the Reasons drop-down, select the absence code that best aligns with the reason that the employee has given for the time off request. As we reviewed earlier, these absence codes were selected by you when you set up your absence codes options under Preferences. Again, we always suggest that you take a look at the start and end date just to make sure that the date for this time off request is correct. And remember, if the time off request spans more than one day, you can simply set the end date to the last date of the request. We also advise our members to enter notes so that they have a clear record of why the time off request was submitted. Once completed, click on Save to complete entry. All of the notes you have input will appear when you run the absence detail and transaction detail reports. We'll show an example of these reports a little later in the webinar. When we go back to the calendar view, we can now see the employee's time off request visible on the tracking calendar. Also, by single-clicking on the employee's name in the date cell, you can see a quick view of the time off request on the right side of the tracking calendar. Now let's take a few minutes to look at some of the reporting available for you. One way that TrackSmart can help you manage your business better is through reporting. Employee absentee issues can make a manager's job much harder than it should be. TrackSmart allows you to quickly identify absentee issues through its built-in reporting. To access reports, click on the Reports tab in the top menu bar. On the Reports page, on the left-hand side, you can see the various types of report options that are available to you. Let's take a look at some of the reports that we suggest to our members that relate to the tracking calendar. The Absence Detail Report, found in the Attendance section of the left reporting navigation, provides a detailed history of all absences based on your selections. This report includes absence codes, time deducted, approval status, and any notes entered by the administrator or supervisor. To run this report, first select Employees. Here, you will have the option to select Active Only, Inactive Only, or Active and Inactive Employees to be shown on the detail report. Then select the date range that you would like to see on the report and run the report. Here's an example of what an absence detail report would look like. On this report, you can see the date range. In this example, we ran a current year report. We then filtered by the individual employees with employee statuses of active only. The report shows absence status, absence codes, and on the bottom part of the report you can see employee name, department, status, date of the absence codes, hours that were taken, the time baked that the absence was deducted from, approval status, and any notes that were entered by the administrator. Another helpful report that we suggest to our members is the calendar report. You can find it on the Reports page on the left-hand side of the screen under the Attendance section. In the Calendar report, you can see a year-to-date absences in a single-page calendar view. This report generates a separate annual calendar for each employee. This helps you easily identify troubling absence patterns with individual employees. Here's an example of a calendar report for 2016. Here you can see the employee's name, their department, their status, the total hours that have been used, any absence codes, and absence types. Another helpful report is the Transaction Detail Report. You can find this report on the Reports page on the left side under the Attendance section. With this report, you can create a detailed report of all transactions made within an employee's time off bank. This includes time deducted, adjustments made, and potentially even time accrued for PowerTrack or PowerTrack Plus members with accrual plans. Let's take a look at an example of what this very informative report looks like. In this example, you can see a breakdown of the employee's current year transaction details. Here we see all time earned, employee events, time off, and adjustments that have been made for this current year. Also, the employee's total time added, deducted, and available time bank time. In this example, we are looking at the PTO or paid time off bank. Also remember that nearly all the reports can be downloaded as CSV files and can be opened in Excel. This allows our members to customize these reports to meet their needs. Let's take a few minutes to talk about the value of employee self-serve. In order for your employees to use employee self-serve, you must make sure that you have given them access to the employee self-serve site. You may assign the employee self-serve permission by clicking on the Permissions tab in the employee's profile. If you would like to give employees all available self-service features, in the Grant Permissions to Employee Self-Service dropdown, simply select Employee All Access. If you want to limit an employee's self-service access, select the individual features listed in the list box below the Grant Permissions to Employee Self-Service dropdown. You may choose to allow employees to submit time-off requests, submit timesheets, update their contact information, and even run some reports. In this example, this employee only has the ability to submit time-off requests, view the company calendar, update their contact information, and run reports. By clicking on the Time Off Request tab, an employee can open up their Time Off Request form. Here, employees can enter their time off request, view their available time, or see their time off request history. Giving employees access to self-serve can substantially reduce a manager's time shuffling paperwork, answering questions, and in managing written time off requests. Plus, with an employee self-serve, the approval process is documented so that no employee can say they didn't know the status of their request. Now let's take some time to review the Administrator and Supervisor view of TrackSmart Attendance. When employees submit a time-off request, the Administrator will receive a notification on their dashboard and also by email. When an Administrator logs in, they can see the number of open time-off requests both at the top, above the navigation bar, and in the right Quick Links area of the dashboard. Both are noted with red arrows in our example. Here we can see an example of the email that you would receive. The email will tell you who requested paid time off, the reason, the date, and the number of hours they have requested. Supervisors can see their notifications when they log in to their accounts. Please note that supervisors log into the employee site, not the administrator site. They can log in at employees.tracksmart.com. On their dashboard, they will see a large number in the time off request module showing them how many time off requests are pending for approval. Here is the email that the employee supervisor will see. This email will have the name of the employee making the request, the reason, the date of the request, and the total hours. Now let's take a minute to review the features of the mobile app. For employees that are remote workers and don't have access to a computer, TrackSmart Attendance has a mobile app that can be downloaded from the Google Play Store or Apple App Store. This app is for employees only, so if you're the administrator, please make sure to log into your account via computer or tablet at www.tracksmart.com/login. You cannot access administrator functionality from the mobile app. And note, please remember to download the correct app since TrackSmart does offer other apps in both app stores. Depending on their permissions, employees can potentially manage time via their timesheet, enter their contact information, or submit a time off request. In this example, for this employee opened their time off option and started requesting a time off. They can select a reason code, start and end date, and leave a note to explain the time off request. To finish, the employee simply presses the Submit Request button. Now we are going to share a few helpful tips and tricks that you can use on the calendar. Here are some helpful tips that you can use when on the calendar to assist you in adding a new employee, approval and declining a time off request, entering a calendar event or time off request, or just to have a quick look at an event or employee absence time off. We have given our members the ability to filter and search for employees. You can choose to filter by individuals or by a selection of employees. This will make it easier for you by limiting the calendar view to your selection. Another time-saving tip is the ability to view any or all pending time off requests. Simply click on the memo pad icon to be taken to your time off request page. Here, administrators can see all time off requests that were created by their employees. Administrators can use the search box to search for a specific employee, or they can filter time off requests by all, approved, canceled, declined, or pending requests. For our example, we are looking at all pending time off requests. Finally, we want to take a few minutes to discuss the added value that our customer success team can provide to you as a valued TrackSmart customer. Our team of customer success coaches are here to help you get the most out of TrackSmart and to ensure you have a smile on your face throughout the process. Each member has a dedicated customer success coach that will occasionally call or email to check up on them. They will even schedule a quarterly customer review to discuss your account, provide you some tips, and answer any questions you may have. These guys know the product inside and out and can provide a timely answer to any questions you may have. Maybe you need a little extra assistance. If so, set up a one-on-one with your customer success coach. This walkthrough demo will confirm you have a full understanding of how to properly use TrackSmart in your business. By the way, it's not their job to sell you anything, so that's one less thing for you to worry about when they give you a call. Think of them as trusted advisors to assist you in eliminating the headaches you've been struggling with. Satisfaction for these guys is helping you get set up, troubleshooting any problems, and making sure you are totally pleased with your TrackSmart experience. To reach a customer success coach, call 877-457-4855 or send an email to support@tracksmart.zendesk.com. If you find yourself working in the system and have a question, feel free to reach out to a customer success coach using our in-app chat. Coaches can even see your screen to troubleshoot any problems you may be having at the time. By the way, TrackSmart has gone social, so please follow us. If you want the latest news on how to take back your time and grow your business, follow us on Facebook, LinkedIn, Google+, YouTube, and Twitter. And keep an eye out on our blog. We provide our followers with informative business articles and helpful product videos to help keep them up to date on legal changes and the newest trends in time and attendance. Now I'm going to turn it over to Alex Duran, our product guru, to go over your questions.
Thank you, Patrick. Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Alex Duran, and I'm the product guru of TrackSmart apps. Let's see what questions some of our members have today for me to answer. Okay. Our first question is, we keep some paper records on file for our company. Can I print the calendar? Yes. By pressing the Control+P button on your keyboard, you'll be able to print the whole page. If you would like just the calendar to print, we suggest to use the cut and paste option and either attach it to a Word, Paint, a PowerPoint, or a Word program and print from there. Okay. Second question is, our company already uses TrackSmart attendance, but I don't see the option to use timesheets. Where do I have to go to use this feature? What I first suggest you do is to look on the top right hand corner and see what type of plan you have. If you see that you have a core strike plan, please feel free to contact us at 877-457-4855 so a coach can assist you with giving you a free trial of our Flex Track, Power Track, or Power Track Plus plan, so you'll be able to use that feature. But if you do have a Flex Track or a higher plan, you can automatically use that feature by just clicking where it says timesheets, and you'll be able to go ahead and use your timesheets. All right. Our third question is, can I delete or cancel an employee's approved vacation request? Yes. Only the administrator can go ahead and delete or cancel an approved vacation request. By just double clicking on that employee's name on that date that you or the employee wants you to cancel that vacation request, click on the delete button that's there, and that time off request or vacation request will be deleted, and that time will be given back to that employee. Okay. I want to have the options for my employees to submit their time off requests, so their request will be approved by their supervisors immediately. Is that some sort of setup or permission that is needed? Again, I will always first suggest to always look at what plan you have. Supervisors are only able to approve time off requests if you have a Flex Track, Power Track, or Power Track Plus plan. Again, please feel free to contact our coaches so they can assist you with that if you see that you have a core track plan. The second part of that question would be by going to that employee, making sure that they're a supervisor, and also giving them supervisor permissions in their employee profile by clicking on the permissions tab and selecting the permissions that he or she may have to go ahead and start approving time off requests. All right. Next one. My company is having our annual summer company luncheon in July. How would I show that on the calendar for all employees to see that date on the luncheon and let them know that we are going to be closed that day? Again, this will be considered as an event, as a company event. So just go to your calendar and click on the date that you will have that luncheon and select company event. And by what I see on your question, you see that your company is going to be closed, select the reasons that your company is going to be closed. Again, verify the date that it shows there. And of course, if you're going to go ahead and pay employees for that time, of course, enter the time or the hours that they're going to get paid for. Enter some notes, and then hit save, and you'll see that event now is on your calendar, and also your employees will see that event on their calendars also. Okay. We are a security firm that is very careful with what type of information employees can and cannot view about other employees. When an employee logs in to the employee self-service and they see another employee on the calendar, can they see any of that employee's information? Meaning the reason of the employee's time off or personal information like a birthday. The answer is no. The only person or persons that can actually see the details about a time off or a birthday will be the administrator. When an employee logs in, they can only see that employee John Doe is absent. Doesn't give you a reason, doesn't give you any detail. You say that on this day, John Doe is absent. When there's a birthday, it will only say, hey, on July 4th, today is John Doe's birthday. It's just giving you as an employee a heads up saying, go say happy birthday to that employee. It doesn't give you the year that employee was born, just for security purposes. Our last question is, when I or an employee enters a PTO request that starts on a Thursday and ends on a Monday, TrackSmart attendance counts Saturday and Sundays as days the employee is taking off. How do I fix that? We see this a lot, and there's a question again. The program doesn't know that your company is not open Saturday and Sunday, so that's why it includes those days, especially if you do a time off request from say example in the middle of the week or Thursday, and it runs, and you want to come back on a Monday, Tuesday, or any day in the middle of the week, it counts Saturdays and Sundays as a day that you're requesting because it doesn't know your company does not open. We suggest, and this is what we recommend to all our members, is if there is a time off request that starts on the middle of the week and they request to come back on the following week, we suggest to have two separate time off requests. So say that for this example, do a time off request for Thursday and Friday, and then do another time off request for the date that the employee returns, like in this case on a Monday. So you'll have time off request for Thursday and Friday and one for Monday. That way you'll have the correct hours being deducted from the employee's time off banks. Other than that, those are all the questions we have today. Like I said, if you have any questions, feel free to contact us at support@tracksmart.zendex.com or call us. We'd like to talk to you at 877-457-4855. Other than that, thank you again for attending today's webinar, and happy tracking.